Hello all, welcome back to the JavaScript video tutorial. With this video tutorial, I'm going to discuss some exercises based on JavaScript. Let's move on to the first one. Write a JavaScript code segment to calculate and display the summation of 1 to 100. This was actually 2016 past paper question. So what you have to do is, you have to get the summation from 1 to 100. Right? This is not a new question actually. We have done these kind of questions when we are learning Java, VB.NET and some other programming languages. So the concept is same, only the little bit changes with the codes, that means the keywords and some syntaxes. Other than that, concept is same, right? Okay, let's see how to do that. I will open up the notepad and this is the previous one. So I will take a new uh, file and then I will create the usual HTML page like this. Right, okay, and I'm going to save this as maybe Q. Yes, I will save it as q1.html. Okay, right, and then what I have to do is I have to add the script tag here, and here I'm going to close the script tag. Right, so first you have to use a loop here. I will use the for loop, and initial value should be 1 because in our exercise the numbers should be starting from 1 to and then end up in 100. So always I should be less than or equal 100, and I'm going to increment I by 1. Right, this is what the loop. We have to rotate from 1 to 100, and to get the summation we need another variable. So I will name the variable as sum, and as the initial value I will assign 0 because initially there's no value for the summation. And then what you have to do, you have to assign the sum equals to sum plus I. Right, so what happened here is some variable will be updated with the current sum and I. Okay, so it will be add up the current sum and the I. At the beginning it was 0. 0 plus I means 1. Now the current sum is 1, and then this will be incremented by 1 I, and the current sum is 1 1 1 2, and the current sum equals to 2 2 plus 2 4, likewise it will be rotate. And then what we have to do, we have to print the value of sum. Right, okay, let's see whether this is correct. Yes, you get the output, and this can be written in another way, as you already know, sum plus equal I hope you know this one. This is plus and assignment, both operators are there. So that means uh, the current sum will be added up with I and it will be assigned to the sum. Right, so this is same as the previous one, which means sum equal sum plus I. So both ways are correct. Right, let's see, you can see the output. So this is how you can write the answer for question number 1. Right, then let's move on to the question number 2. Write a HTML program to create the form and JavaScript function to check the following. Only numbers between 1 and 100 can be inserted. When an invalid number is entered, the message must be appeared as invalid input. If it is a valid number, the message must be appeared as valid input. The function should be called on the button validate. So that means here with this text box, it is allowed to enter numbers between 1 to 100. So if the user entered a number less than 1 or greater than 100, a invalid input message should be appeared. Right? That's the basic idea with this question. Right? So the function should be called when you click on the validate button. Okay, so first what you have to do, you have to create this form, create this small form, and then you have to create a JavaScript function. And when you click on this function, you have to call that JavaScript function, right? Okay, let's do this one. I will get another one and I will copy this thing here and save it as q2.html. First, what I have to do is I have to create a form. So I will create a form here and I will assign a name for my form. Let's say a name is not given here, so that you can assign any name as you wish. And then it should have a one input box like this, and I'm going to assign a name for this box, and there's no any line break here. You can see there's no any line break here, and here I'm going to add a button on click, and the button name is validate, so like this, right? Other than that, you can see here there's a small label, so that I'm going to add that label here. So it is mentioned as please enter number between 1 and 100 here. Okay, let's see what will be the output. Right now you have the form එක තියෙනවා. So here there should be a small BR line break. Now all the things are okay with form. Right, we get the form as it is. Then what you have to do, you have to write a function here. Inside the script tag, I am going to write a function and I am going to name it as validation. Right? So you have to call to this function from the on click. Right? Button on click, you have to call this function. So I will paste the same name here. This is the same name as you assigned for the function. Then what you have to do, when you're checking whatever the number entered by the user, you have to check whether the user entered the correct number. So in that case, first what you have to do is you have to take the number from this text box. To do that, I hope you remember I have explained how to get the user entered values in two ways, with using document.getElementById by ID or something like that, and also you can directly get like this document dot document dot, and then you have to give the form name and your input box name dot value. This is one way, or else you can assign an ID here and get the values like document.getElementById by ID. So I have explained those two ways. You can use either way. Now you have the number here. For the easiness, I will make it short. So what you have to do, then you have to check whether this number is in between 1 and 100, right? Okay, if the entered number is less than 1 or entered number is greater than 100, then let's say I'm going to pop up an alert. So I'm going to pop an alert saying that invalid input, right? Else there's no any problem, so you can directly make it as valid input, right? If the entered number is less than 1 or if it is greater than 100, then alert box will be pop up and saying invalid input, right? And other than that, there will be a alert box saying that valid input. Okay, let's see what will happen. Valid input. If I enter a number like 0, invalid input. If I enter a number like this, invalid input. If I enter a number like 67, it is valid, right? Now you can see how it works. So very small one here. This is very small question, so you can easily get the marks, right? Okay, then let's move on to the last question, which is a little bit lengthier one. You can see, consider the following HTML form. Write one JavaScript function for following data validation. So this is kind of a data validation as we did in previous one. Full name is not empty. You have to check whether the full name is not empty, right? 9-digit in NIC number. In the NIC number, it is allowed to enter only 9 digits, right? So first, here 10 marks is allocated. First, you have to create the form. For the form, there will be some marks will be given, and then you have to perform these two validation, right? Okay, let's do this one. First, I will create the form. I will get another HTML form and copy the same thing here and save it as question number 3.html and remove this script tag, and then I'm going to create the form, right? Okay, this is my form. When you are creating the form, you have to remember that here in the exam paper, for each and every element, the name and the ID has been given, right? So you have to use these names when you're assigning a name and ID for your text boxes and other form element. For an example, for the form, it's been given as form techno. So I have given the name as form techno, right? For the full name, it is being given as full name. So there also I have used the full name, and for the NIC it is NIC, likewise it's been given, so I have used the same names here, right? And this is the text. So here also I have used a table because it is nicely aligned in two separate section. So because of that I have used tables to make it more alignment, otherwise it will be not nice like this. And I have used the center because these things are looks like it is centered, so I have used the center. For this one I have used h1, and this one I have used h2. Let's see what will be the output. So this is going to be the output. You can see it is very much similar like this, right? Okay, so then what we have to do, we have to write down the script, JavaScript code, to get the full name and the NIC and check whether full name is not empty and NIC has 9 digit. Right, first I will create a function here, and I'm going to name the function as validate or validation, whatever, you can assign any name. And then what I'm going to do is, here it is asking only two things to validate, full name and the NIC. So because of that, I'm going to take the full name equal document dot, you have to give the form name and the relevant input box name, and then dot valid. Now you have the full name, and then I'm going to take the NIC. NIC also same, document dot, here your form name and the relevant text box name and the value. Value is option that you can take whatever the user entered value. Now I have the full name and NIC. What I want to do is, I want to check whether full name is empty. If full name equals nothing, that means if it is empty, I will pop up an alert box saying that let's say full name should not be empty, right? And again I want to check whether NIC has 9 digits. So every string has a small function called as length, which you can take the number of digits in a string. So I'm going to get that length, and that length should be equals to 9. If it is not equals to 9, then I'm going to pop up an alert box like NIC should have 9 digits, right? So length, length, sorry, th, length is kind of a function that you can use for every string. This is kind of a string, right? NIC is a string. It has with all the strings where you can get the number of characters for that of that string, right? So this is my code segment. Now if the full name is not empty, if there's no any values entered by the user, an alert box will be displayed saying that full name should not be empty. And if the NIC length is not equal to 9, then an alert box will be displayed saying that NIC should have 9 digits, right? Now what you have to do, you have to copy the function name and you have to paste it in the on click here, right? Okay, hope you got the idea. Because okay, you have to copy the function name. So here there's a small validate, and then you have to copy the function name and paste it in the on click section. Right, let's see what has happened. Okay, I'm not going to enter anything for the full name, and I'm going to enter 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 10 9, and then I'm going to enter something here. It is also selected. Okay, full name should not be empty. The error box came, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to enter values for this one, and I'm going to change the numbers. NIC should have 9 digits. If you make it empty, still give the message as NIC should have 9 digits. And if you are not going to enter these two, full name should not be empty, NIC should have 9 digits, right? So I hope you get the idea how you can use the JavaScript to validate a form, right? So this is what actually I want to explain in JavaScript. So this kind of small validation sections might be there in the question paper, as in the past papers. These are all, these questions are from the past paper. So I hope you get the idea what kind of questions will be asked in the question exam paper, right, regarding JavaScript. So this is what I want to explain, and thank you for watching this video session.